Hello guys, today I want to talk tires. Okay, specifically WTB Vigilante, Maxxis assegai, the DHR, I mean it's pretty known, the xynotal, the argotal, right? And the cryptotal, right? So, let's start with WTB Vigilante, right? This is a 27.5 2.6 on an e-bike, right? On the back, I got a DHF because it's a good rear tire, not a good front tire, especially on that width. And this is a Maxxis Shorty, right? Just to show you some of the tires I've tried, right? And which is the best? To me, WTB Vigilante in the tough. This is a light casing. I was just trying it out, see the tread pattern and all that stuff. To me, this is the best. Why? Is it better than the assegai? No, it's not better. They're different tires designed to do different things. And also, these are the ones that came with the common saw with the bike. EXO casings, 3C, I don't know if it's Max Terra or Max Grip, whatever, but still, different tires for different days. Okay, now why do I like this is 2.5 WTB Vigilante so much? I love it because the tread pattern is perfect for me. You know, it's open enough that it can clear mud kind of well, but close enough that even on dry conditions, it works amazing, right? The rubber is soft. You can see some wear on the knobs. And the corner knobs are supportive and quite soft. They bend, but nothing crazy on the 2.5, and on the 2.6, more or less the same. They bend a little bit more. You know, these are softer. Look, it's wearing and tearing much more. For some reason, this model. And yeah, this is like for softer conditions, I guess. I don't know why this difference happens. I guess between the light casing and the tough casing, but these have more support for dry conditions. I did race them in the mud though, and they worked fine. So there you go. Why? Because where I ride in Galicia, northwest of Spain, everything is always either wet or super dry and dusty and sandy and loose and full of leaves and sticks and bullshit, right? So even on hero dirt conditions, you will need a tire like this in Galicia because the trails are never clean. They're never looked after, almost never. So yeah, there's a few exceptions, of course, but in general, the trails here suck ass. So an all-rounder tire that isn't too hefty will be like this, right? For me, perfect. I can lean the bike confidently, never washed out the front with this tire. The transitions between the center knobs and the outer knobs are perfect. They look cool. They grip on all conditions, except for the sloppiest of muds and road, I guess. But who rides this on the road? So yeah, amazing. WTB Vigilante, sorry, WTB Vigilante, Maxxis assegai. This is the Maxxis assegai, right? As you can see, the knobs are firmer and they are wider. Okay, the rubber is good actually. It's quite good. Maxxis is famous for its rubber, and the tread pattern is amazing. My only issue, my only gripe with this tire are the corner knobs. They're not thin enough. They don't penetrate as well on loose conditions, muddy conditions, whatever. So I've lost the front many times on this tire, even on dusty conditions, whereas I've never done it with this tire. Okay, and you can see why. The knobs are smaller, therefore it's like a knife, you know, and these are longer and kind of wider. Does my camera look so bad? And all that. Okay, so I'm gonna, yeah, this one looks better. Much better for, I guess, the hard stuff, you know, if you're going to race or do something with hard pack, you know, California, South Cal conditions, it's gonna feel amazing, right? This tire, of course, in double down casing or XO Plus, they're gonna work well. but not in the EXO. EXO is bullshit, right? I have tire inserts to Thanos, otherwise it's impossible, right? But this, even in the light casing, it's held up pretty well. I did ding the ring many times and bent the wheel a little bit for running too low pressures despite having a... Well, I think I didn't have an insert. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Moving on to this. This tire, of course, the argotal is amazing for loose to mud conditions, right? It's not a mud tire, but it's pretty darn close. You know, the side knobs are insanely tall and insanely big. Only problem with this tire, I did have a crash the other day with this tire because it was very dry. Well, not super dry, you know, but it was dry and hard. There was no dust, nothing loose. So again, the knobs were too big, too wide in the 2.6 variant to penetrate the soil, and it washed out the front. I was leaning the bike quite a lot as well. So again, they only work on loose conditions. That's my only gripe. It's a very specific tire, but a day like today, it's raining. They're gonna be good today. Cryptotal, haven't had enough time to test them properly. In the future, I'm considering them as a front tire because they got this nice round profile. I guess in the 2.6, it's 35 millimeter rims, and the 2.4 should be fine too. And the knobs are, the problem is they're very similar to the assegais actually, at least in the 2.6, right? So again, I guess this tire is gonna work very well on slightly loose to hard pack conditions. But the center knobs are amazingly tall, despite, you know, not being designed for, like the argotal, they're super tall, designed for super loose conditions. My try so far, in my experience, amazingly grippy. In the enduro casing, all the enduro casing work amazing, but I need more time on this tire to give a proper review. But I mean, it's good. At least as a rear tire, I don't think you can go wrong with this tire. It's just insanely difficult. You can see this. This is from the installation. My mechanic needed 2 people to install this tire. Also, the rim, it's a Mavic, and it's not... Mavics are really good, like, it's a good brand, but they could help, you know, with the installation. Nuke-proof Horizon wheel, best wheel ever. It's a shame that Nuke-proof died. But yeah, this tire I really like a lot. Despite being such a summer tire, you know, for hard pack and all that stuff, as a rear tire, works really, really well. Even in the mud, somehow the corner knobs gripped, like they do drift a lot in loose condition. This tire loves drifting, right? It's a very fast rolling tire, so perfect for jumps and this and that. So if you got a bike you love jumping and stuff and going fast, this will be an amazing rear tire. And maybe also front tire if you're not doing anything gnarly. Enduro casing, done them for 1 or 2 years, whatever, and had them, you know, for this long, and they look at the tear and wear. Like, they still look almost brand new, except for some, you know, places like this one where you can see it started lifting off. The rest of the tire holds up so well. It's crazy how little they wear, and I got a few miles on these, you know, so I like them a lot. But of course, what would be the ideal combo for me? For me, the ideal combo would be grip total rear in the rear, 2.4 or 2.6, doesn't really matter, preferably 2.6. They last long and they grip like hell, right? And WTB Vigilante tough high grip for the front. On dry conditions, xynotal on the rear, maybe the assegai in the front, but again, like, the grip total front is the same as the assegai, or even better, so whatever, you know. Or even a DHR or whatever, you know, things like that. And the shorty worked well in the front until it didn't. Unfortunately, this is in max grip DH casing, and the corner knobs wore off a little bit too quickly in my liking, and it drifts too much now. So I use it as a rear tire, you know. Funny enough, the center knobs are still holding up somehow. Well, I haven't used it as a rear tire for that long, but still, you know. Something to consider. But again, Maxxis makes amazing tires. It's just that in the max grip compound, the side knobs, you know, after a few rides, they lose grip. And the Continentals, And also the WTB, so far so good. Like the side knobs look brand new. And I do love leaning the bike a lot and cornering. Not super hard, you know, I'm not a pro or anything, but yeah. Same for these. These are pretty much brand new. I did have another crash on this one. It's important to mention because it loves grabbing ruts. It doesn't drift. It's too grippy. In a weird way, this tire is too grippy when it shouldn't be grippy, and it's not grippy enough when it should be grippy, you know? So it's very conditions dependent, and you have to be careful when you ride this tire. I run it as a front tire 2.6, and I think it's too wide, maybe for an e-bike, but for a normal bike, like this enduro bike, I think it's going to be better in the 2.4, you know? The 2.5 Vigilantes work amazing, you know, and they are quite thin, or they look thin. I haven't measured them, you know, but let's compare it to 2.6 29er, and you can see the difference. 1 second. Let me line them up, more or less, you know, not very scientific, but hey, okay, that's good enough. So again, 2.5, 2.6, but easily, like, almost, you can see it's much wider, the 2.6. So it's not exactly a 2.5 wide, because this is also a 2.5, and it looks wider, and it feels wider. But if you line them up, they're almost the same, if not the same. Well, they do look like the same, more or less. But yeah, the 2.6 of that, it looks much wider, and this one, well, I cannot line them up, but from my fingers, Max's is slightly wider. Maybe also the tire pressure has to influence that. And that's it. DHR works amazing, of course. The rear, 2.4, front, whatever. I used to, and the wear and tear is larger than the xynotal, like it does wear faster. Max Terra company. So something to take into account. Like, yeah, the rubber on the grips are, Continental rubber is amazing, dude. It's amazing. It's just really the tread pattern. You know, to me, I would buy Continental if it was a little bit cheaper, and the tread pattern was something more similar to the Vigilante, you know, because if you think about it, the Vigilante fits perfectly between the xynotal, front or rear, doesn't matter, and the argotal. So something to keep into mind. If you got any questions, casings, guys, it's better. You know, I've tried many casings, the DH casing here. I tried the double down casing as well. I think I threw away that tire, but whatever. Or somewhere around there, whatever. I tried the EXO. I haven't tried the EXO Plus. That's true. And in Continental, I've only tried the Enduro casing. In WTB, I've only tried the... Oh, no, actually, this is the tough. This is tough casing. But I haven't really ridden this bike hard or enough to really review these tires. My cousin uses this bike. But yeah, I mean, I just bought another pair of, well, another WTV Vigilante Tough. It's going to go on this wheel. And this wheel came with a Commencal, really good wheel, DTC wheels. And this one is going to go back to the trail bike. It's really, this tire, I bought it light because it's for the trail bike, you know, for the Vitus. And all of a sudden, I loved it so much that I went to my enduro bike, right? And here's a little frog meme. I don't know if I can get the phone to show you the frog. Oh, kinda hard. It's full of mud. And yeah, guys, if you got any questions, let me know on tires. I know a lot about tires, pressures, widths, and whatever. But as a summary, ideal width for a front tire 2.4, 2.5. For a rear tire 2.4 to 2.6. It depends on you. I prefer 2.6. Why? Even though it drifts more in the mud, you have all that extra cushioning and grip that on hard surfaces, that it's really awesome. And the rollover is better as well, so you tend to go faster on wider tires. If not 2.5, it's fine. And compound, Soft, ultra soft, unless you're racing or you have a lot of money, I wouldn't recommend. And casing, enduro casing, tough casing, double down casing for the win. Anything lighter, in the front tire maybe, but for a rear tire you need at least either enduro or double down, right? And that's that. Take care.